Demore drop: How Chris Jericho went to war with Vince McMahon to save John Cena's WWE future. The Demore drop is a weekly guest column on Uncrowned written by Scott Demore, the Canadian professional wrestling promoter, executive producer, trainer, and former wrestler best known for his long-standing role with TNA Impact Wrestling, where he served as head of creative. Demore is the current owner of leading Canadian promotion Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. The likely incoming Jey Uso's heel turn has been set up very well. After WWE fans had a week to think about what he did to his twin Jimmy last week, they booed Jey pretty loudly Monday on Raw. Jey has his motivation: he wants his belt back, feels disrespected and even dismissed by his family and friends, and, as is the case with all of the best villains, he feels perfectly justified in doing what he's doing. Entitled, Even. That is great pro wrestling booking by WWE, especially since you have to figure this was originally a much longer story that had to be truncated due to Seth Rollins' injury. I'm looking forward to seeing if WWE pulls the trigger on a full heel turn against CM Punk this weekend at Saturday night's main event, or if it's all a swerve. I said last week that there's a bigger moment at a later date for Punk to win the title back, and keep it for more than 5 minutes, and, to me, Jey's heel turn leading to him regaining the belt is a no-brainer. WWE announced that November 17th will be the last time John Cena appears on Monday Night Raw as an active wrestler. The retirement is beginning to feel very real now, isn't it? In case you were wondering, John Cena's first ever WWE Raw match was on the June 13, 2005 episode, or 7,462 days ago. The man who had previously been called the Prototype in OVW teamed with Chris Jericho to take on Christian Cage and Tyson Tomko. I don't think it's widely known how hard Jericho fought for Cena at the time. Jericho had been booked to beat Cena, and there was talk that the Prototype wasn't ready and needed to be sent back to OVW for more training. When I say Jericho fought for Cena to be given a real chance, I mean he got into a raised voice argument with Vince McMahon. That's how strongly he believed John had something and was ready. He continued to advocate for Cena, pushing really hard that if only he had some mic time, the thug rapper gimmick would get over. Chris Stan has aged pretty well over the past 20 years, hasn't it? Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling's second digital house show, the Rena Rumble, took place this past Monday in Toronto. It was a special show, super intimate crowd, limited to 500, to benefit Rena, a non-profit that supports people with developmental disabilities. We had a great night. We presented the Rena organization with a check for $110,386. Matt Hardy headlined and, well, he was Matt Hardy. Even though just coming out to our show was huge enough with everything he has going on with TNA and NXT, he made time for everyone, including the younger talent on the card, who he went out of his way to make feel like superstars. Then he signed and took pictures with everyone in the building. I've known Matt a long time along with his brother Jeff. We started off as friends of friends. Adam Copeland and Christian were the connection. I mentioned to Christian that my niece was having such a tough time, she wasn't even looking forward to her birthday. He calls back from a layover. Christian knew she was a huge Hardys fan. He mentioned it to Matt, and Matt wanted to talk to my niece. He made her whole birthday and gave her a massive boost when she really needed it. Matt and Jeff are both incredible people. The matches from the Rena Rumble will be available on our YouTube channel next week. Does Penta win the Intercontinental Championship at Saturday night's main event? It feels like it is time. He's failed to win a lot of big matches since debuting for WWE with a lot of fanfare in January. Nevertheless, he's remained super over. An Intercontinental title win does a lot for Penta at this point and barely makes a difference to Dominic Mysterio, who is incredibly over and obviously destined to go on to the world title picture sooner rather than later. Also, I don't see how putting the belt on Rusev, the other man in the Intercontinental three-way, at this point is the right call. I am a real believer in Penta. I put the TNA title on him even though he was passing through the promotion. Penta can be very, very special for WWE, and it looks like he's about to get the chance. At time of writing, this weekend's WWE show, Saturday night's main event, which features Punk, Uso, Mysterio, and more, has only sold 6,000 tickets. Have the fans had enough of TKO pricing WWE tickets like a mortgage down payment? I think LA Knight has surprised a lot of people with how completely he's connected with the WWE fan base. Real name Sean Ricker, he wrestled for us at TNA from 2015 to 2019. That included a time when there was a lot of instability at TNA. One of the things that got us a foothold to stability was putting the world title belt on Eli Drake. He is a great worker, super charismatic, and we badly needed that from our champion at the time. When he decided his career was best served by pursuing WWE, he didn't have it all come easy. He spent time in NWA, then NXT, but eventually made his way to the main roster, where the fans fell in love with him as LA Knight. And I understand why some of those fans were blowing up social media earlier this week, bemoaning that LA Knight ate another pinfall, their words, not mine, against Bron Breakker. Knight has been at the B+ level for a while now and fans have become frustrated WWE hasn't pulled the trigger on a title run. Knight has a WWE title run in him. All he can do to make that happen is keep doing exactly what he is doing, having great matches, killing it with the crowd and letting his fans let WWE know, hey, listen to us, this is the guy we want. Even in this era of dozens of 40-somethings being able to perform as well as much younger athletes, Bobby Lashley, 49, and Shelton Benjamin, 50, are in ungodly, just horribly unfair shape. I worked with Bobby in TNA back in the day. He looks like a badass because he is one. He has an aura that elevates every match he's in, but, behind the scenes, he's a complete pro to deal with. Jade Cargill is an amazing athlete. I think she's a special pro wrestler, too, and I think she proved that in AEW. It is well overdue for her to be allowed to show that in WWE. I had the chance to tell him this in person recently, but Trevor Mann, aka Ricochet, has taken it to the next level. I've long thought that he's almost inhumanly talented and athletic, but, a while back, there was a knock on him that his character work wasn't as cool as what he could do in the ring. That's completely changed. The heel run he's on with AEW has been outstanding, unbelievably entertaining and compelling. He is still doing his ridiculously athletic matches, but the smugness, the gross arrogance and the overall stinking persona he's inhabiting has been so very good. What I appreciate most about what Ricochet that he's found ways to still use that crazy athletic ability, but, critically for a top heel, not to outshine the babyface. That takes a real command of what pro wrestling is all about and he does it while generating nuclear levels of heat. Roxanne Perez, Carla Gonzalez, is an unbelievable talent. And still so young, she turns 24 in a few days, despite all that she has.